Imagine someone tells you that one small $100 mistake could eventually cost you thousands of dollars. You might think, it's only $100. How bad could it really be? That question is exactly why this mistake is so expensive. Because the real cost isn't always the $100 you lose today. It's the money that $100 could have become if you had made a better decision. And this isn't about becoming obsessed with every dollar you spend. It's about understanding one simple financial principle that can completely change how you look at small money decisions. Today, we're going to break down the $100 mistake, how it can compound into thousands, and what you can do instead. Let's start with a simple story. Meet Alex. Alex earns a decent income, pays the bills, and tries to save money whenever possible. One Friday, Alex gets an extra $100. Maybe it's cash from a side job. Maybe it's a small bonus. Maybe Alex simply has $100 left over after payday. Alex thinks, I'll treat myself. So the $100 disappears. A few days later, Alex doesn't even remember what it was spent on. This happens all the time. And spending $100 isn't automatically a bad decision. The problem begins when this becomes a pattern. Because the financial mistake isn't really spending $100. The mistake is repeatedly spending money without asking what that money could do for your future. Now imagine Alex makes that decision once a month. That's $100 every month. Over 1 year, that's $1,200. Over 5 years, that's $6,000. And that's before considering what that money could potentially earn if it were invested instead. This is where compound growth becomes powerful. Money that stays invested can potentially generate returns. Then those returns can generate additional returns. You don't just earn on your original money. Over long periods, you can potentially earn on the growth that came before it. That's why small financial decisions can have surprisingly large consequences. Let's make this even easier to understand. Imagine you invest $100 instead of spending it. Then imagine you continue adding $100 every month. At an assumed average annual return of 8%, compounded monthly, after 10 years, you would have contributed $12,000. But the account could be worth roughly $18,300. That means the potential growth would be more than $6,000. And over 20 years, the difference becomes much larger. You would contribute $24,000. But at that same hypothetical 8% annual return, the account could grow to roughly $59,000. That's about $35,000 of potential growth. Of course, real investment returns aren't guaranteed. Markets go up and down. But the lesson is incredibly important. Time can make small amounts of money much more powerful. Now here's where many people make the mistake. They wait until they have a lot of money before they start investing. They think, I'll start when I make more. I'll start when I pay off everything. I'll start when I have an extra $10,000. But years can pass while they're waiting for the perfect moment. And you can't get those years back. Starting small can be more important than starting big. Even $25, $50, or $100 per month can help you build the habit. The goal isn't to become rich overnight. The goal is to put your money in a position where it has time to work. But there's another side to the $100 mistake. Sometimes the $100 isn't being spent. It's sitting in the wrong place. For example, imagine you have $5,000 sitting in an account earning almost nothing while you carry high-interest credit card debt. Paying down expensive debt can potentially provide a more certain financial benefit than taking additional investment risk. Credit card interest can be extremely expensive. So before worrying about complicated investments, look at the basics. Do you have high-interest debt? Do you have an emergency fund? Are you getting an employer retirement plan match if one is available? Are you consistently saving something from every paycheck? These fundamentals matter. Let's go back to Alex. Alex decides to create a simple three-step system. First, $100 automatically moves into savings or investments every month. Second, Alex builds an emergency fund so unexpected expenses don't immediately go onto a credit card. Third, Alex increases the monthly amount whenever income increases. Nothing dramatic happened. There was no secret stock tip. No cryptocurrency gamble. No get-rich-quick scheme. Just automation and consistency. And that's an important lesson about personal finance. The best financial system is often the one you can follow without thinking about it every single day. Here's another example. Suppose you receive a $1,000 tax refund. You could spend the entire amount. Or you could split it. Maybe $500 goes toward high-interest debt. $300 goes toward your emergency fund. And $200 goes toward a long-term investment. The exact percentages aren't universal. Your situation matters. But the bigger idea is this. Don't ask only, what can I buy with this money? Also ask, what can this money do for me? That one question can change your financial behavior. And this is where the $100 mistake becomes emotional. $100 doesn't feel significant. That's why it's easy to waste. But $100 repeated over and over becomes a completely different number. One careless decision might not matter. Thousands of careless decisions absolutely can. Think about subscriptions you forgot about. Impulse purchases. Restaurant delivery fees. Unnecessary upgrades. Interest charges. Late fees. Small purchases made simply because they're convenient. None of these automatically make you irresponsible. The danger is when they happen so frequently that you stop noticing them. So here's a simple challenge. For the next 30 days, track every purchase that costs $100 or less. Don't judge yourself. Don't try to eliminate everything. Just write it down. At the end of the month, look at the total. Then divide those purchases into 3 categories. Worth it. Maybe. Waste. You may discover that some spending genuinely makes your life better. Keep it. You may also discover expenses that provide almost no value. Those are the ones worth cutting. Now take the money you save and give it a job. If you have high-interest debt, consider putting some of it toward that debt. If you don't have an emergency fund, consider building one. If those basics are covered, consider long-term investing through appropriate accounts and diversified investments based on your goals and risk tolerance. And if your employer offers a retirement match, make sure you understand how it works. The point isn't that everyone should do exactly the same thing. The point is to stop letting small amounts of money disappear automatically. Give your money a purpose. There's one more powerful idea I want you to remember. You don't need to become perfect with money. You need to become consistent. Missing one investment contribution doesn't destroy your future. Buying something unnecessary once doesn't make you financially irresponsible. The real danger is repeating the same small mistake for years without noticing. Your financial life is built from repeated decisions. One paycheck. One purchase. One transfer. One investment. 1 month at a time. Small actions can become big outcomes when you give them enough time. So the next time you see something that costs $100, pause for 10 seconds. Ask yourself 3 questions. Do I actually want this? Will this purchase improve my life? And what could this $100 become if I saved or invested it instead? You don't have to choose saving every time. Spend money on things that matter to you. Enjoy your life. But make sure your spending reflects your priorities instead of happening automatically. Because financial freedom isn't created by never spending money. It's created by intentionally deciding where your money goes. The $100 mistake isn't really about $100. It's about opportunity cost. Every dollar has choices. You can spend it today. You can use it to eliminate expensive debt. You can keep it available for emergencies. Or you can invest it for a future version of yourself. There isn't always one correct answer. But there is a cost to every choice. And once you understand that, small amounts of money start looking very different. A $100 bill isn't just $100. It represents everything that money could become. So here's your action step. Find one $100 expense from the last 30 days that you genuinely didn't need. Then make a better decision with that money going forward. Maybe it's canceling a subscription. Maybe it's reducing impulse spending. Maybe it's paying down debt. Maybe it's starting an automatic investment. Start with one decision. Then repeat it. Because your financial future probably won't be changed by one giant decision. It will be shaped by hundreds of small decisions made consistently over time. If this video helped you see your money differently, subscribe to Roy Finance for more simple, practical personal finance strategies. And remember, don't just ask what your money can buy today. Ask what your money can become tomorrow, ***.